Welcome, Vault Dwellers. My name is Nacho Bidness. Today we're at Boston Airport. The first part of this story is that this was another early settlement that I did. I stopped glitching the size bar pretty early because of this over here. This glitch here kinda scared me. I was afraid that I would destroy my save game if I continued to glitch the size bar, so I stopped. But what I did come up with, I think, is a fun little roleplay thing. Obviously this area really exists to build the teleporter or the mass relay, or I think that's what it was called in game. So I wanted to kind of incorporate this element of the ruined terminal building, and to me that spoke of scrap airplanes. Now obviously we can't go building Megaton, not with the limited tools that we have, but we can do some things to try and evoke the use of riveted aircraft when we look at this place when it's all completely done. So let's take a look at the finished settlement. As our Brahmin runs past, we walk inside and we see the teleporter. Now, I mentioned that I wanted to work with that feeling of aircraft aluminum, and although these walls are called steel in the menu, they clearly look like riveted aluminum to me. A steel wall with no paint on it would just be a giant mass of rust. It wouldn't be kind of shiny like this is. So most of the early settlement is built out of this stuff. We've got the foreman's office here with a small desk that I could not be bothered to decorate. We have a small work area over here where settlers can fabricate parts for their fancy new teleporter. And we have some very basic quarters for the work people. I wanted this to feel a bit like a crash program where people that don't really understand the technology they're working with are desperately working as fast as they can to copy it. Back over here, we've got a small bathroom. All my settlements have bathrooms. We'll talk about that in another part. Now, after Wasteland Workshop came out, I added this little annex over here. It's not part of the original settlement, and I kind of liked the feeling that this was not something that was well planned. It was something that was tacked on later. You can see that this once was a fairly intimidating outer wall, and now these turrets are mostly useless. We had another one over here, but it's all by its lonesome. One other thing I'll mention here is that people will tell you that you cannot get water at this settlement, and you actually can. I play on console. I'm not doing any mods. It's just a matter of carefully placing these in the few areas here that technically count as dirt. So coming back through here, this automatic door is something I've seen several people do. Draco Invictus did a really good tutorial on these, so did No Respawns. So let's come up here and take a look at the centerpiece of the settlement, which is, of course, the actual teleporter. Brief note, I did make a pathway into the terminal building because that's where all the settlers want to seem to hang out. For whatever reason, they can't figure out how to get down these stairs. When I ring the settlement bell, they make their way clear around the outside of the settlement and in through the front gate over here. So, unfortunately, I don't have a save game from before this was destroyed. I wish that I did. It looked really cool, even without the extra street lights here and other upgrades offered by Wasteland Workshop. When I built this place, there was not enough power deliberately to run both the teleporter and all the turrets. And I did that because I wanted to make turning this teleporter on feel like an event. So I've got 30 power here, which is just barely enough to run this thing. Now, unfortunately, my game is glitched now, and I had to hide a fusion generator in one of the walls because this thing is, for some reason, still taking 20 power out of the grid. Don't know why. If you disconnect all the wires, it still takes 20 power. You know, this guy over here, none. This guy over here actually has some because I forgot to turn off the appropriate switch. But as soon as we do so, you know, it goes back to saying that it needs power. So I hit a fusion generator in the walls. It's not quite what it used to be. But then again, we didn't have these cool letters at the time either to label all the switches. So I've come back through and added switches for the water purifiers and turn the lights off here because I think lights on in the daytime looks a little bit silly. I wanted to, when I turn this thing on, have to come in and throw multiple switches. It's just a fun little role-playing aspect. So, wish I could show some footage of Tinker Tom with blue lights on his face and Desdemona yelling at us to save the synths, but unfortunately I can't. If you want to see that, there's plenty of that stuff out there. So let's take a look at the airport at night very quickly so I can kind of show off what it looks like when it's all lit up. Piper out of the way. So I've got all the lights turned off because I think lights on in the daytime look silly. I like putting all my lights wherever I can to be on a power circuit. I don't always do it, but I was able to do it here. So, quick side note, these things still glow even when they're not powered, just because they're on the power grid. Once you turn the lights on, you can see they get much brighter. So I like the industrial feel that this harsh white lighting gave to the area up here. You know, this feels like an industrial project. Going back down here, got a few little lights here and over here, and we'll run past the teleporter sign and into the annex. So as we wind this down, I'd like to say thanks again for watching. If you liked, please click the like button. If you want to see more, please click the subscribe button. And if you dislike, please tell me why. I'll try to do better next time. Again, I am Nacho Bidness. I'll remind you all that it's a great big wasteland out there. Let's go have fun in it.